Hey there you guys! So in this video I'm going to be listing some culture shocks. I am an American living in Germany and I have already made a video like this in the past. It was one of the first videos I ever made and I have just come up with a bunch more culture shocks since then. So yeah, if you are interested in what I have to say, keep watching. Also, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Neva, I am 25 years old, and I do currently live in Germany with my husband Ben. And yeah, I have a few fun culture shocks for you guys today. I just want to quickly say that I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad in this video, you know, this is all in good fun. So if you disagree with something I say, please comment below and let me know, call me out if I am totally wrong about something, and yeah, now let's get into it. So something that as an American I feel very, very used to is when you're in public, when you're like out walking your dog or when you're at the grocery store, like you make eye contact and you smile and you say hi to people. And in Germany that is really not as normal. Now of course there are plenty of Germans who are super, super friendly. I'm not saying that they're not friendly at all, but if I'm walking, you know, down my hill and I even will see like a neighbor or something, I'll say like, oh hey, you know, and they often are just like, and it's like weird. And to me it's really strange because that isn't weird to me, that's really normal. Also, like if I'm, you know, at the bakery getting some bread, I'll like smile at the person getting the bread for me and I will like say, oh, have a good day and stuff like that. And things like that are just like not really the same here. If I'm with my husband and we're at like a restaurant or at the bakery or whatever and he orders something, he does it so, like to me, I always call him on it because I'm like, that's so weird, because he'll just be like, I want this and this, thanks. And then just like turn and start talking to me again. And to me, I know it's not rude because it's just a culture thing, but it feels so weird to me because in the States, if I would do that, I would feel like I'm being rude, because usually I would do something like, oh hey, like, I would really love to have this and this, like, thanks so much, you know, I don't know, like making eye contact and smiling, like, you know, communicating without necessarily using different words. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I always get this weird feeling, and whenever I do, like, smile at the person across the counter from me, they always, like, respond well to it, I think because it's maybe not really normal. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, moving along. Okay, this one is kind of a funny one because this of course happens in a lot of different countries, but in Germany there is very relaxed rules about nudity. And basically what that means for me is when we go to the lake, for example, there will be sections of the lake where it is like, you can't go there if you're not completely naked. Like it's not allowed to wear clothes in certain sections at the lake because it's a nude area. And I think this is actually really cool because in the States people are like really, really terrified of nudity, and it's like even on TV and stuff they do a really good job to never show it. You know, the girl will always like hold the blanket up over her body afterwards and stuff. Like I think you guys get what I mean. And yeah, I really like that in Germany, nudity is just like a really much more relaxed idea. And actually, it's the same thing when we're talking about like swearing and stuff. Like in the States, if you're listening to the radio and a song comes on the radio where someone is swearing, they will bleep it out. They will not have those words be allowed on the radio. And it's the same in television. They can't like use certain swear words and stuff depending on the program and everything, and yeah, it's just really strange. And in Germany that's just not the case at all. There's like full nudity on TV, you know, cuss words on the radio. All of that kind of stuff is not regulated in the same way that it is in the States. It's all much more relaxed, and I think it's really nice. So in my last video, one of the things I talked about was the fact that in Germany you have to bag your own groceries, and we don't have to in the States, like I don't think ever. So now what I'm going to be talking about is two other things at the grocery store that were really weird to me at first. The first one is, depending on which store you go to, some are not doing this, you will have to weigh your own produce. So there's a bunch of different stores that have different rules about this, and some will weigh it for you at the checkout, but some stores there will be a little scale and you have to weigh your own produce and like put a little like sticker on it or whatever, so the cashier doesn't have to weigh it for you and they can just put it through the checkout. And this was super confusing for me at first. And also I found out that in Spain, actually it's like this as well. And my family and I, when we were there a couple years ago, were super confused about this and didn't understand it at all whatsoever, so it wasn't just me thinking it was weird. The other thing that is super weird about the grocery store here is the rushing. When you get to the checkout line and your groceries start going through the thing, all of a sudden it feels like you're in like some super intense speed competition and the cashier is just like zooming your groceries through like super fast and you're like trying desperately to put everything in your bags as fast as you can without breaking all of your food into a million pieces, and it's just so intense and so stressful, and you're like packing all your food in and the cashier is like, it's this much money. And they're like waiting, like super annoyed that you're not going fast enough. I don't know why it's like this here. Every single store I've been to, it feels this way. It is so bizarre. I don't really get why it is like this. It literally takes just like 30 seconds extra to just give the person a second to pack their groceries because, you know, we're packing the groceries ourselves. The cashiers don't do that for us here, which is totally fine. But then please give me more than like 10 seconds before the person behind me is like, because they're like waiting their turn. Anyway, moving on. So the next thing that was a really big culture shock for me when I came to Germany is the fact that people here are very direct. Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this. I actually think this is really, really nice. I think one of the things that I find really frustrating about Americans is we're always trying to be like so polite and like tiptoe around saying the wrong thing because we don't want to upset people and stuff. And there's this weird like feeling like it's taboo to like call someone out sometimes. And in Germany, people are just very direct. Like if I would ask someone, one of my friends or something, oh, like, does this look good? They will be honest with me and tell me if they do or don't like it. And it's just kind of nice because it's really refreshing that nobody is like worrying about your feelings before they give an opinion. They're just being straight up and giving their opinion. And that is really, really nice for me. Okay, so another fun culture shock when I came to Germany was learning that when you rent an apartment, usually it does not come with a kitchen. It usually comes with the stuff that's in the bathroom, like the shower and the toilet. Sometimes even part of the toilet you have to buy yourself, and it just doesn't come with a kitchen. You have to buy your own kitchen and move it with you from apartment to apartment. Now, my husband and I have gotten really lucky in the past 2 places we've lived in because they both came with kitchens, but the first place we were at did not, and it was such a pain getting that kitchen in and out of that apartment when we moved in and when we moved out. It was just a disaster, and yeah, so really strange. If you're moving to Germany, just keep in mind if you don't want to have to bring your own kitchen, you should really be searching for somewhere that comes with one already installed. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about, I've spoken about in a couple other videos I've made about Germany already, but it is just something that I feel like I have to bring up again, and that is the normalization of smoking. Smoking is massively normal here. I mean, it's just so normal that you will see like moms at the park with their babies smoking, people sitting at cafes and restaurants are all smoking. It's just really, really normal. And I find it to be, I mean, first of all, not the best thing ever. I mean, we all know that cigarettes and tobacco are bad for you, like they're bad for your health. I mean, duh. But besides that, it just creates this really strange environment, I think. I think that if you are a young person living in Germany, it feels like, you know, you should smoke because it's been sort of put on you that it's so normal to smoke, and your parents likely smoke and all your friends start to smoke, and now that vaping is a thing, that's a whole other thing entirely that is also really, really massive. And I think it's just a really bizarre culture thing. You know, in Germany, they have these cigarette vending machines, and essentially you just have to bring your ID and scan your ID, and you can get cigarettes from this vending machine, and it just makes it so incredibly easy to get cigarettes. Even if you're a minor, it's like, how easy is it when your parent is sleeping to just take their ID and go buy cigarettes? I mean, come on, it's the easiest thing ever. So of course, everybody smokes, young people smoke. I know my husband started smoking when he was like 14, and that's just crazy to me. As someone who was a smoker for many years, I can say I understand, like I understand addiction, I understand how the entire thing works, but I think it's just really bizarre that, as an example, when you're standing at the train station, there will just be a massive poster that is like, go buy cigarettes, they're so amazing, this is the best brand, and like all these advertisements for smoking. I can't imagine what it's like to be like a 14-year-old kid in Germany seeing that kind of stuff. I mean, of course, everybody wants to start smoking. I think it's also really strange for the people that don't smoke. I have a friend here who does not smoke and like hasn't ever smoked, but all of her friends do. And it's really strange because for her, it's normal to be sitting at a cafe and be surrounded by cigarette smoke, even though she isn't a smoker. And it's weird because in the States, if you're sitting at a cafe and you start smoking a cigarette, there will for sure be some people asking you to please move or go stand a little ways away or whatever because they don't want smoke in their face while they're eating. And that's just not a thing here. It's just so normal that you just deal with it. Okay, I think I'm done with my tobacco tangent, so let's move on. So a really positive thing about Germany that was definitely a culture shock for me was how important recycling is here. Now, I'm not sure exactly how it is all over the country, but I know for a fact that where I live, recycling is very, very important and everybody does it. They have a special system for recycling and it's very cool because it means that my husband and I, we actually only create recycled like plastic trash, and then we have our like biodegradable, compostable trash that we call the bio trash here. And it's just really nice because we never have any trash that is just becoming nothing. Everything is getting recycled, hopefully, if I'm not being lied to, and otherwise it's just our bio trash. And I think that's really nice, and it's a very important and normal thing in Germany to recycle. So yeah, that's just all very, very nice. So the last culture shock I want to talk about with you guys is kind of weird, and I've never heard anybody talk about this before, but I'm going to be talking about dreadlocks. And I know that seems sort of weird, but actually, it's very normal in Germany. I really don't want to offend anybody when I'm talking about this. If you're watching this and you have dreadlocks and you're like feeling attacked by me, that's just so not my point. I just find it honestly interesting, so let's just talk about that for a second. In Germany, there is a really awesome new young generation of people that are trying to step away from habits and normal culture in Germany, and they're trying to be progressive and open-minded and welcoming of all different kinds of people, which is absolutely amazing, and I totally support it. What I think is interesting is that a lot of the people doing this have dreadlocks. Now, I don't know if this is just because there's this sense of like hippie culture, like this hippie one love acceptance culture, which is totally great. It's just funny to me that when you live in a city that is really progressive, you will see a lot of people with dreadlocks. And I think most of the time these people are the people who are trying to change German society and trying to make it better. And that is absolutely amazing. I just think it's always so funny when I'm out and about and I will see people, these like very hipster looking people, and they will always have dreadlocks, and I know, oh hey, those are the people that are trying to make the world a better place. And I just think it's funny that I can kind of spot them because so often they will have dreadlocks. If I'm being honest, I don't know the real reason why people in Germany have dreadlocks, why this new young and open-minded generation has taken on dreadlocks as a part of their like aesthetic and style. I'm assuming it comes from sort of hippie culture or even like Rastafari culture, but I really don't know actually, and I'm not going to be talking about whether or not it's okay or not, or any sort of cultural appropriation. That's just not the point of this video. I was really just trying to make a point that a lot of these young, hippie-loving people have dreadlocks here, and it's very normal. Alright, you guys, that is all the culture shocks that I have for you today. I hope that this was entertaining and that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and comment down below if you have any thoughts about anything I said, if you disagree with me, if you want to call me out on my crap. Go ahead. I really want to hear what you guys have to say, and if I'm saying something totally wrong or I'm not being informed, please let me know. And yeah, if you want to support me, you can subscribe to my channel, hit that button, and if you don't want to, I will not hold it against you. So yeah, that's it for me in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!